With over 5,200 aircraft under its control, the U.S. Air Force has the largest aircraft fleet in the world. From fighters to bombers, surveillance jets to tankers, and everything else, this fleet is also the most diverse on the planet. Thanks to these, the U.S. Air Force has remained the leader of the skies. And to keep it this way, the service is building the next generation of air-based technologies in programs whose capabilities are so out of this world, they could ensure American dominance in the skies for decades to come, and whose technical details are so secret, the world may never know them. So stick around, and together we'll turn the pages on the U.S. Air Force's top 5 secret programs. Number 5. Mayhem. Project Mayhem is a program by the Air Force Research Laboratory. It is famed at developing a combined-cycle turbofan scramjet propulsion system capable of propelling larger payloads for longer distances than existing propulsion systems. In December 2022, the Air Force awarded Virginia-based Leidos $334 million for Mayhem's continued development. The Air Force is sparing no expense. To the service, Mayhem would power the most critical strike operations and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions. The propulsion system would enable future aircraft to take off like any other plane, travel at Mach 5 plus hypersonic speeds unlike most other planes, and then land like any other plane. To accomplish this, Mayhem will combine 2 different types of engines, scramjets and turbofans. Scramjets, coined from the supersonic ramjets, have been under testing for decades, but to date, no country has ever managed to put one in service. Air moving through a scramjet flows at supersonic speeds. This makes crucial air ignition difficult. It's like keeping a match lit in a hurricane. However, in recent years, there has been increasing success to this cause, and engine manufacturers have indeed devised ways to keep a match lit in a hurricane. But even this breakthrough is only one piece of the puzzle. Scramjets cannot work alone, not effectively at least. Their reliance on incoming supersonic air means they cannot function at lower speeds. They therefore rely on a propulsion system that operates optimally from a stationary position. This is where the turbofan engines come into play. Turbofan engines can power jets from takeoff to high supersonic speeds. At these high speeds, the scramjet is fed with a hurricane of supersonic air and can therefore operate effectively to thrust the aircraft to hypersonic speeds. Engines built with this setup are known as turbine-based combined-cycle engines, and in the case of Project Mayhem, they can thrust a jet to speeds as high as Mach 10 and beyond. Number 4. Collaborative Combat Aircraft. Collaborative Combat Aircraft, or CCAs, are unmanned aircraft designed to escort manned aircraft into battle to perform mini-missions assigned by remote operators. They'll escort 5th-generation F-35 Lightning IIs and future 6th-generation fighters, such as the NGAD fighters, during missions, a pair of CCAs per manned fighter. In these missions, the CCAs can take up a wide array of roles. They can function as extensions of the manned aircraft sensors, where they fly ahead to gather more intelligence than the manned fighter could at the moment. They can function as electronic warfare systems. Armed with more weapons than some manned fighters, they could even directly take out threats. The list goes on and on. This dramatically reduces the workload on manned fighters, as they have some sort of assistants doing half of what they would have to do. It also protects manned fighters and their pilots from venturing into more threatening situations. The result is significantly reduced casualty rates and increased dominance. To have these capabilities, the service plans to spend more than $6 billion on its CCA programs over the next 5 years, over $400 million of which would be in the fiscal year 2024 alone. Once completed, each CCA is expected to cost between $20 to $40 million, and the Air Force plans to build 1,000 of them. At roughly the same price as an F-16 Fighting Falcon, the CCAs are not expendable aircraft by any means. They'll be armed with enough sensors, avionics, and weapons to survive on the battlefield, even in 1v1s against manned fighters. When will they enter service? What will they look like? Only time will tell, as those remain well-kept secrets. Number 3. FA-XX. Although not an aircraft of the Air Force, the FA-XX is more than deserving of a spot in this list. The FA-XX is the U.S. Navy's sixth-generation fighter in the works. It is an optionally manned, multi-role, carrier-capable air superiority fighter. It is in many ways similar to the Air Force's sixth-generation fighter under development. In fact, the similarities between the two fighters run so deep that the FA-XX is also being developed under a sixth-generation program known as NGAD, yet completely different from that of the Air Force. And like the Air Force, the Navy is spending heavily on the fighter. The Navy recently released a budget request of over $9 billion to spend on the program alone over the next 5 years. The FA-XX will be the centerpiece of a family of systems and feature an increased payload thanks to efficient space management and a large blended wing airframe. It would achieve its air superiority by normalizing supercruise and wielding many dominating capabilities, such as impeccable stealth, open architecture, sensors, and weapons. Boeing and Northrop Grumman are two heavy names already tied to the development of the FA-XX fighter. Should the fighter enter service around the 2030s, as is the plan, it is expected to replace the F-18EF from the Navy's fleet and complement the F-35C Lightning II on carrier decks. Number 2. B-21 Raider. The B-21 Raider is America's bomber for the evolving 21st century. The bomber was developed by Northrop Grumman as a multifunctional aircraft that can perform a wide array of tasks, including reconnaissance and surveillance, battle management, and as a sixth-generation global precision attack platform where it combines stealth, payload, and long-range strike to deliver America's most powerful weapons to the most critical targets. This versatility and invincibility come in no small part from its stealth, avionics, and armament. In terms of stealth, the B-21 draws from Northrop Grumman's 3+ decades of advancements in low observable technology, gathered from its immediate predecessor, the B-2 Spirit. As a result, the B-21 will be built from the ground up as a stealth aircraft. Alignment of edges, serrated skin panels, masking of the engine with fibromat skin, and an overall flying wing shape are only some of what to expect of the new bomber. In terms of avionics, the Raider will feature many advanced and modern avionics systems, such as an AESA radar, an electronic warfare system, a distributed aperture system, and so on, that all combine to form a single integrated system. In terms of armament, the new bomber will be able to deliver up to 30,000 pounds of conventional and nuclear weapons anywhere in the world, penetrating even the toughest defenses. Lethal as they like, the Air Force plans to acquire between 100 and 145 B-21 Raiders, each costing about $630 million and slated to enter service in the 2040s to replace both the B-1 Lancer and the B-2 Spirit. Number 1. NGAD. NGAD is a leader amongst the U.S.'s most crucial programs today. NGAD stands for Next Generation Air Dominance, which is exactly what that is designed to do. Next Generation Air Dominance. Not much is known about NGAD specifics, but what is known is that it is a program aimed at producing an entire family of next-generation technologies that would make U.S. air dominance in the future inevitable. This family of technologies will include new weapons, sensors, engines, networking capabilities, battle management capabilities, and so on, all working together to arm the program's centerpiece, a manned sixth-generation fighter, currently known simply as the NGAD fighter. The NGAD fighter will be the most advanced, most capable American fighter yet. Built on the back of the groundbreaking F-22 Raptor, the new sixth-generation fighter will take air superiority to new heights, quite literally. Its propulsion system would leverage an adaptive cycle engine's power and dynamic nature that enable the jet to operate efficiently under subsonic, transonic, and supersonic conditions, normalizing supercruise for the fighter and enabling it to border on space. It also builds on the Raptor's unrivaled stealth. The new fighter will reportedly maximize its stealth by taking an overall triangular shape, internally holding its payload, and having no distinct tail section, also known as vertical stabilizers. It is the first fighter in history to be unveiled with such a design. Thanks to a large size, the constantly upgradable NGAD fighter will have record-breaking payloads of a new spectrum of weapons and propulsion. The weapons include everything from newer electronic warfare systems to directed energy weapons and loyal CCA wingmen flying alongside. The fighter will be intelligent too, with top situational awareness derived via highly sensitive electronically configured smart skins integrated into the aircraft's fuselage. The fighter's avionics will rapidly process the data gathered from the sensor skins, feed the fighter with relevant information, and share the information with U.S. allied forces in real time, keeping all friendlies well abreast of the battlefield situation. The technologies that will make all of these possible are kept away from the public eye, and will very likely remain that way till the next century. From new propulsion systems to unmanned but well-armed fighters to game-changing manned sixth-generation bombers and fighters, the U.S. military, particularly the Air Force, is pulling no punches in its quest to dominate the skies of tomorrow. But they need help. They need you to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. So do that now, and thanks for watching.